All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Professional Insights Podcast, Season 2, Episode 39. Coming at you live from our houses during COVID-19.
Josh is like stuck. I'm Jeff Collins. I don't know what happened to Jeff.
This is amazing. Josh Bond is there, but frozen on our screen. I love it.
That looks hilarious. Well, that's Josh Bond down there.
I'm going to take a screenshot of this just for shits and giggles. That's amazing. I love it.
That's a good card. There's a business card for him.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So here's the funny part. We're going to address questions about virtual signings with Josh Bond.
Something tells me he hasn't worked out the kinks to his technology to be able to do these virtual signings.
Right.
You can't do them from the cottage, apparently. But the rest of us have experience. Are you doing virtual signings yet, Curry?
We are. So it's kind of funny. I used to always joke that, Sun Life's a very old company. You got to remember, Sierra Smith Financial has a contract with Sun Life, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's our main brokerage and what have you. And they've, very old company, I think 1853, if I'm not mistaken, Canadian company. But as most financial institutions, technology really lagged from a DocuSign or e-signature perspective. I remember going through Trevor for both of my when I had my rental property and also my primary residence. Being able to do it all over an iPad with a tap, and just getting approval. It is amazing how quickly the technology has advanced in literally weeks. Because of COVID. We were expecting to have all this technology by the end of Q4 of 2020. We now can do DocuSign on anything like a nominee accounts that are brokerage accounts. So that's kind of interesting. And all done within weeks.
Yeah.
All done within weeks.
Isn't that amazing? I think that's the best part of all of this is like we literally had probably 40% of our lenders out there that did not accept electronic signatures. And, we're probably looking at another 2-3 years before it was going to happen. All of a sudden COVID hits, the lockdown happens, and, 100% everybody's using it now. And
when did it start for everybody bringing in for the banks? Like how long ago? After March 11th?
You know what? It kind of trickled in. It trickled in, March into April. So with this starting over March break, some lenders started to say, hey, you know what, we'll consider it by the end of March. And then, by end of March. And then once April hit, pretty much everybody came on board. And the only thing that they've turned around and said for us, from our perspective, is to what Josh alluded to in the last episode that he's going to talk about now is wet signature. So we're being told, okay, we can get an e-signature from somebody on a document, but the documents that they're signing for me are going to end up getting shipped to Josh, and Josh is going to do a wet signature on those for the clients.
Yeah. So in our world, what we've done to just kind of work around this pandemic is, some of them, we can email them the documents, right? And they're pretty savvy. They can print them out, but some people don't want to do that, don't want to deal with their resources, don't want to deal with the headache of that.
And they don't have the ability to print.
A lot of it's legal size paper, though.
Yeah.
Like legal size paper is a pain in the ass.
Yep. That's what I mean.
So what it sucks. So I hate it. I hate the legal size. If it's just 8.5 by 11 would be golden. Yeah. That's the big problem with the.
What if it was all 8.5 by 14? It'd be perfect.
Yeah. So what we
you got to redo all the printers.
What we do in the alternative is we just create a package for the client to come and pick up. So it's very limited interaction. They pick the package up, and then on some platform, be it FaceTime, WhatsApp, Zoom. This is a new platform.
This is the interesting part. You've got to actually witness them through Zoom.
Correct.
Signing the paper in front of them, right?
Yeah.
Really? So we're having the conversation. I'm up on the camera right now. Now we're signing something.
Correct.
So I have to lower it down for you to see it
Yeah.
to then go back to this.
Either that or the way we are right now, Trev, I'm watching your arm, and then immediately after you hold the document up and show me the wet signature.
Okay, fair
Now,
enough.
when you do that, Josh, do you sign the witness line after
Yes.
to say that you did witness it, even though you didn't do it?
Yeah. So
when you get the papers back, you can sign it.
yeah. So then what I have to do after that is I have to go back into the office. The client drops the document off. I got to go back into the office and I put my wet signature beside the client's wet signature.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Josh. Normally, you can get a file closed very, very quickly.
Yep.
How much time is this wet signature virtual signing adding? Is it adding a day, possibly a couple of days to being able to get something closed?
In our business, it all depends. I mean, Jeff's a pretty big, probably one of our largest, if not our largest referral source. So Jeff calls me, we do what we can, right? Like, you know what I mean? You've got to got that ranking. So time doesn't really become.
Regardless, though, at the end of the day, like all I'm getting at is it's still taking more time to make it happen, right?
The problem,
So-
for example, with me and Dan, I have to do all the signing with him alone. So me, the Josh, face to face on Zoom, deliver it to Dan, and then Dan would have to do the exact same thing. So that basically doubles the time right there.
Yeah.
I'd say it's about
Yeah, so something you can't get instructions on a file in the morning and close it by end of day like you could. Worst case scenario, right? Not ideal, but we know that we have quick closings that happen like that. Quick closings can't happen like that right now.
I'd say minimum 3 days, Trev, because
Okay, that's good to know.
like with a virtual.
I don't have anything rush coming up. Like everything for us, again, it's in the pipeline. It's there. It's coming. Actually, we'll take this offline. I'm curious if you've got one of my clients' files. If you've got the instructions already.
Okay, well, ask me and I'll let you know if I've heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I mean, it's so much more work. I mean, from our perspective, I would say I can do a sale file without any bells and whistles. You know, I like to talk with the clients. I like to get to know them. But start to finish meeting with the client, I can do a sale file in 10 minutes. Right now, if I was
so
doing
it is more efficient. Yeah. So I find it's a little bit quicker going through it because that small chat, because we're trying to get it done to consumer like that. So you can expedite it a little bit,
correct.
but it's still typically would be more time consuming.
It's definitely more time consuming, Jeff, except for people like you are seasoned. You know the documents. We've been through them. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times, but I'm thoroughly explaining the documents to every person, and they're kind of fumbling, you know, between the documents. I'm not there to go, this one, right? Or that one. So, I mean, it's a normal sale file takes me about 20 minutes to go through. Nowadays, it's roughly about 40. So double.
On top of that, it's funny with in my industry, if someone signs, if we do a Zoom meeting, then we have to do a wet signature for an insurance application. I have to email them the PDF. They have to print off the PDF, sign it, and then scan it back to me. I then have to print it off and then sign it and date it if it's a different date, and just go and have to put an asterisk beside it. This date is different due to COVID-19.
Yeah.
You know, application was done over Zoom.
Yeah, I put signed by virtual appointment under my signature, just so that anyone that I'm doing that, because a big thing in our industry is that the Law Society is a little bit archaic, right? I mean, it's traditionally an old boys club, and they're accustomed to doing things a certain way. So they've never recognized any commissioning of affidavits or swearing oaths that are done before us. It says that it's done in the presence of. So now they don't know how to interpret in the presence of. So it's right now been subject to interpretation before all this happened, whether we can do commissioning of documents through an online platform, because I'm physically not there, but I'm watching everything that you gentlemen do. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's just keeping up with the times. So I think one silver lining out of all of this is I think somebody, an entity like the Law Society is going to say, you know what? This isn't that bad of a thing. As long as it's done properly, we've got to confirm the identification. So what I have people do is have them send me a photocopy of their ID. If I don't know them, Jeff, I mean, you know what I mean? Send me your...
You've already got it on file.
Correct. Send me a...
No, we gotta bring the ID every time.
Well, yeah,
Do it every time.
because the expiry dates, right? But send me a photocopy of the ID, and then when I'm meeting with you, you actually have to, for the fraud protection, hold the ID up, and then I cross-reference the ID that I have on.
See, this is the interesting part. Like Royal LePage Real Estate, I think we might be ahead of the curve. We've been doing DocuSign for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And the interesting part is you send it, you have to consent to electronic signature right away. So the person doing it consents to it.
Yeah.
But then you have the witness pages on the agreement of purchase and sale, and you see witnesses right there. We're instructed not to sign that.
Yeah.
Because we're not told to do a Zoom and watch.
That's
and
right.
all that.
And nor should you, Jeff.
Yeah, because you do electronic consent. But the difference with us is, and this is where I find it could be a little bit of an issue potentially, we get that whole package in a PDF. We sign it all. It's consented to. It's automatically emailed, so nothing's been changed. So say you watch it, you're sitting there watching it, and you can say you saw me put the signature on that, and then I go pass it to you. You could easily switch papers because you're not sure you're getting the same one that was signed. So that's where the DocuSign's there to protect it.
Yeah.
Because there is so many legalities with the issues.
Well,
No matter what's finally done, you get a PDF copy when you're done. And all parties that signed anything get the finished copy right there, and it shows you the day it was signed and everywhere it was signed.
and
So it's
let's be honest.
Law Society's not doing it. I think you just started doing it, right, Trevor? About 6 months ago, 8 months ago.
No, you know what? I've used. I signed up through Ryan. Got me hooked up last year, so I've been using DocuSign for over a year now. But the neat thing, or something to note about DocuSign, is when you go through it, you actually have those certificates. So it actually marks the person's IP address when they signed the document, and all. Like it's pretty
Supposed to be
detailed.
concrete in case it gets to litigation, basically.
Yeah. See, the difficulty for us is we
It's
have
an audit trail.
we actually have to say that we're witnessing that signature.
Yeah.
Because of in the presence of.
Yeah, because when you're swearing an affidavit, I'm the one that they're trusting, saying that I'm putting my signature here, saying that I watched that person swear to the truth of this statement.
So then you'll have to thoroughly go through it when you get it handed back to you.
Yeah, that there's no
And nothing was
changes.
changed.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. I do that on all my documents. So, but I mean, I think I've been, full disclosure, I've been doing it since I moved to St. Catharines, so 2013, because I had clients up in Timmins, right? So I mean, it's only with clients that I knew. So I mean, Jeff Curry, Lindy, like, I mean, I know you guys are who you are. I know your spouses, right? Like, I mean, it's the whole thing behind this is fraud, right?
Yeah.
It's a fraud protection. So I've got no concern with my mom that I'm on this watching her sign the document, right? Because I know it's my mother, right?
Well, and I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
This is the benefit that's going to come out of it. Even like I said, Sun Life was very archaic with its technology, and it's still trying to adapt. Like I had an argument with them before. Like we had third-party authorization and third-party fraud, like anti-money laundering, exposed foreign person. We went from just requiring the driver's license. Now I had an in-person meeting, so I was fine. It was the client's request. But now you've got people that are turning around and going, I now need to do dual authentication, 2 pieces of ID, even though we're having a Zoom meeting, even though I can see their face. I still it's just kind of like, but this is what's the difference? There's just a computer between the two of us. There is no difference. So
No.
These associations are they are very archaic, and I hope this is a good thing in the sense that this is going to force people, because what you're going to see a lot of head offices sell off real estate space in downtown Toronto after this, because they are paying tens of thousands of dollars a month on parking, on heat, hydro, lights, rent, you name it. The commercial real estate is going to get hammered because everyone's like, wait a second, they're not 25% production level. They're maybe at 75, 80% production level, but that's COVID related. That has nothing really to do with the capabilities of the individual. And I think you're going to get a lot of lawyers, a lot of financial advisors, a lot of bankers, you know, mortgage specialists, that kind of stuff starts saying
Some healthcare.
Telehealth is really exposed.
Well,
You know, it's
look at the NFL draft they just did. They did it all from home. And
Fabulous.
And now they're thinking, well, the NFL coaches are like, well, maybe I don't have to do 18 hours a day. I can see my family. I can do stuff from home, you know, like it's such a game changer in so many ways that it's making people more efficient, right?
Yeah. I think
That's a huge thing. Productivity's up a lot in a lot of industries right now. People are realizing that the fear that productivity would go down because people were working from home is in fact up. Yeah, they were incorrect in making those assumptions.
and
You hire
Well,
the
the
right
beautiful
people,
thing-
you pay them well. They're
and
gonna
here's
produce.
the thing too. Yes, people's pipeline, like all of us are reduced in pipeline capability. But that's
Yep.
COVID related. That has nothing to do with the fact that we don't want to work or we're not working.
Yeah.
Correct.
It has everything to do with the times that we're in right now. The actually turnaround time is quicker. Production, you know, like, but
For certain things in my
same with
world, yeah.
mine. But the reason why I'm not quicker on other things is purely because the systems that I operate in are completely archaic. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head, though, Brandon. I think, you know, optimistic Josh, you know what I mean? At the end of June, when we're through the bulk of this, I think the one industry that is not going to be or going to come back is going to be the commercial real estate.
Yeah. It's going to get hit pretty hard because I think a lot of people are going to start investing, even though it's a huge capital cost, invest into technology and make that initial investment and save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on rent.
Absolutely.
Like Roy LePage NRC right now, they've been reducing their offices because it's so much bricks and mortar, right? The lease costs are crazy. And most agents now are working from home and have been for a while. It's more convenient and, you know, it's just easier. So now we're having satellite offices, you know, so one place where you can meet a client for face-to-face, but no longer are they going to need 15,000 square feet. They'll be able to do it in 1,000 square feet.
Sunlight's
right?
reducing all of their, you're going to have satellite offices, which are going to be training centers and tons of meeting rooms. Other than that, there will be no, advisors aren't going to be renting square footage.
See, the interesting thing is because I've been doing this for a while now, and like the DocuSign was great because I used to have to legally drive all the way to Hamilton if I had a client there to get an initial and then drive all the way back. And that's what you had to do.
100%.
You know, you can't fake an initial, you can't do any of that stuff. And you have to do that. So I'm like, okay, this is great. I can do that. But then you have the potential to take on way more clients at a time, which, you know, the more clients you got, everybody knows in this business, the more fires you kind of put out, right? So your stress level goes up quite a bit because your productivity is a lot more efficient. And it's crazy because the offsuit is how much stress you get on top of that because it's
real time.
The demand for I need it now. I need it now. I want the offer now. I need it now, you know, and it's time sensitive. So people can throw it in. Like in Toronto, the Toronto agents are sending people down. They never even see the house and they'll throw in an offer. They'll do a DocuSign from someone around here. It's crazy.
See, the caveat with us,
there's good and bad.
The caveat with us is it's only temporarily permitted right now.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's gonna have lasting effects from this, though.
Hopefully,
like Brandon said, it's gonna lower the commercial.
Josh, I can see like the First Nats, the TDs of the world that didn't allow it that are allowing it right now. As long as you get a wet signature on those documents, I can see moving forward that they could potentially revert back to because they're saying this is temporary measures only.
Yep.
So
for our commercial financing with Ben, Ryan said we can do DocuSign now for the commitment, the mortgage commitment.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to him yesterday about it.
He's like, "Oh, we could have done it for a while." I'm like, "What?" Like, I've been running around like a chicken's head cut off getting signatures. Like, just DocuSign it. Doesn't make sense. Pain in the ass. And the best thing about the DocuSign, I find, the second everybody signs it, they all have a copy.
Yeah.
Instantly. No, where's
I
my
love
copy?
the fact that you see that they opened up the document, they viewed it, they've signed it. It's on to the next person in line. Like, it really is great technology, and just frustrating that it taken something like this
Yep.
to happen for it to become widely accepted as a professional way of conducting business.
See, the
And-
Well, the tough part is the 50-year-olds and older, they do not like
Nope.
doing it.
difficulty with
I don't want to sign it. You bring me the paper. Okay, no problem.
And on that,
But they do not
note,
like
we
it
should
that-
wrap up this episode. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in, and keep the questions coming.
help us help you stay informed.
Bloody positive.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, take care.